Welcome to Review Journal Sports Betting Spotlight on NFL Championship Sunday. We're here at the Palms Sportsbook, as always, joined by handicapper Kelly Stewart at Kelly in Vegas, CG Technology Vice President Matt Holt. They let us out of the gas chamber here, and we'll give you a pick on a side or total on the AFC and NFC title game. And this is our third straight week here at the Palms. It's kind of a playoff showdown. Matt went 3-0 in the wild card week against spread. Kelly, you lead in the pack. You went 3-0 last week in the divisional round. No problem, no doubt of that Vikings and over. And you're 5-1 in the playoffs. Why don't you lead us off with the play in the past Jags?
Okay, so I may hate myself come Monday morning, Sunday afternoon maybe even.
You got that every weekend?
Yeah, right?
No.
You have Blake Bortles versus Tom Brady. The Pats covered double digits last week over the Titans with ease. Jags haven't played anybody. They're in the AFC South. They play the 31st hardest schedule in the league. They're 12-5 this season against the spread, 10-1 in their last 11 home games. I can't think of any logical reason why I'm going to bet the Jaguars. Give me the 9 points.
Matt, who do you like?
I'm going to go with the New England Patriots here, and I don't want to buck any trends here. Look, New England, this is what they do in the playoffs at home. They win and they cover spreads, and one of the things that's been fairly consistent with the Jacksonville Jaguars, not just this season but last season as well when they struggled at the end of games, is when Blake Bortles turns the football over, Jacksonville loses. And when Blake Bortles doesn't, Jacksonville tends to win games. And when they get turnovers, they tend to win games. What happened earlier against the Pittsburgh Steelers? 5 times picked off Big Ben, able to get a win in Pittsburgh. What happens last week? They get a fumble return for a touchdown. They pick off Big Ben early to set the tone, able to hold on and win that game. Questionable call at the end of it by Tomlin, not kicking the ball deep. Either way, Jacksonville holds on and gets a win. I don't know that Blake Bortles can go 3 straight games without throwing an interception since he hasn't done it all season. Why should I expect that he can do it against the playoffs, against elite level teams, when he wasn't able to do it throughout the regular season where he threw 13 interceptions? The prop sheets that we have out say Blake Bortles to throw an interception, yes, no, yes, minus 200. I'm going to say he throws one here, and I'm going to say when they get behind, the one thing that they've had going for them, they haven't been behind yet. This team is not built to come from behind. They want to play sound defense, pound the ball at Fournette. They're not built to come from behind on the arm of Blake Bortles, who threw a whopping 87 yards through the air against the Buffalo Bills. Jacksonville gets behind early. Bortles turns the ball over. They're not built to come back. I'm going to lay the big points in a blowout.
All right, man. I'm with you on that one. Not surprising. I'm going with the Patriots by 9 over the Jaguars. As a wise guy and wise man once said, you'd rather be called a square than a loser. And the Jacksonville defense, they've been dominant this year, and I've been on singing their praises, but they obviously are vulnerable. You have 42 points to the Steelers. As you mentioned, Ben Roethlisberger, 5 touchdown passes, 469 yards, and a tight end named Vance McDonald had 10 catches for 112 yards. What's Gronk going to do? And everyone's singing, talking about how great Blake Bortles, the game he had. If you look at his stats, he was only 14 of 26, 214 yards and a touchdown. That's really below average numbers for any other quarterback besides Bortles. And the last quarterback that beat the Patriots in their first postseason was Jim McMahon. He was backed by arguably the greatest defense in NFL history, the '85 Bears. Jacksonville has a good defense, but not that good. Brady would be able to move the ball. He threw 337 yards and 3 touchdowns against a Tennessee team that swept the Jaguars this season. And as you mentioned, Kelly, in your case for the Jags, the Pats are 10-1 against the spread. They covered their last 3 games all as double-digit favorites. So let's move on to the NFC Championship. Your favorite Vikings, you wear purple maybe for the Vikes, and Vikes Eagles. Who do you like, Kelly?
We all knew I was going to be on the Vikings, especially after last week's just absolute insanity. I got to roll with them again here. I made a case for this team all year. I've been on them almost every single week, and why not? Like I said, Coach Zimmer, amazing against the spread. He's made me so much money over the last 2.5 seasons. I hate betting road chalk. It makes me a little bit nervous, but because these guys over here at the Palms gave me a 3 instead of a 3.5, I'm going to take the Vikings here. I mean, did you think Case Keenum versus Nick Foles was going to be in the NFC Championship game? I go, how much does Jeff Fisher hate himself right now?
Yeah, exactly. You got both of those guys ready.
I guess so. Anyway,
I'm going to
lay the little bit of points on the road with the Vikings. just based on recent trends.
All right, Matt, who do you like in the NFC?
Well, I thought about playing the Vikings here too, but there's always been this trend, is always play against the team coming off their greatest game of the season, and how much better could it have gotten from the Minnesota Vikings than what we saw last week at home in that crazy ruckus environment, scoring that last touchdown. Look, I saw those interviews on Monday and Tuesday even with Case Keenum after, who still said he hadn't gotten much sleep. I don't know how long they were celebrating into this week, but a game like that that's so emotional with such an amazing thing can have a way to take a little bit out of you after that. You don't have the same normal recovery. You don't have the same normal practice. I think maybe there's an emotional letdown this week, and it happens on the offensive side of the football with two really good defenses here. History has told us that betting totals under 40 in the playoffs, especially in this round, historically has been a very bad idea. I'm going to try to buck that trend and go under 38.5.
All right, I'm going to join you, Kelly, and go with the Vikings over the Eagles here. The Eagles will have their dog mask on for the second straight week, but the Vikings have been wearing those dog masks since 1976 when they lost their fourth straight Super Bowl. They were the Bills before the Bills. They lost their last 5 NFC title games. I think that streak ends here this weekend. Minnesota is a much better team than Atlanta, and it's the same point spread essentially as last week. And Nick Foles is going to have a much tougher time against this vaunted Vikings defense, which leads the league in scoring D. We mentioned all their other great stats. And the Vikings are going to have an easier time playing against Foles than they did against Drew Brees. And as you mentioned, Mike Zimmer has just been a cover machine since he took over in 2014. They're 44-22, best spread record in the league, edging the Patriots, who are 47-24-2. The only teams right around 66%. No other teams more than 60%. Philadelphia only scored 15 points against the Falcons. What are they going to do against the best defense in the league? That's our spotlight in the NFL playoffs.